co-founders of Environmental Working Group was previously a project director at the National Institutes of Health. And while he was there, he was responsible for a very big breakthrough in U.S. pesticide regulation, which was to say, let's test pesticides to see whether or not they are safe for kids before we allow them on the market. And it also said, let's not look at pesticides in isolation, but let's look at the effects they have when they're combined with other pesticides that may have a similar operation. So even though you might be ingesting 4 or 5 pesticides on your apple, the traditional approach of regulation was just to look at each one of them and see whether or not it was over the limit. But if you put all 5 of them together, you were well over the limit for what they believed a certain type of pesticide you should be taking in. We've put out a guide for people to take with them to the store that tells them what fruits and vegetables are highest in pesticide residues and which ones are lowest. You can see, for example, that peaches, apples, nectarines, strawberries, all very high in pesticide residue. And these are figures that come from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, where they tested something like 40,000 samples. We advocate, of course, buying organic whenever possible, but we acknowledge that some people don't have access to organic, and of course some people can't afford the extra cost of organics. So what we wanted to do was be able to tell consumers, okay, these fruits and vegetables, the so-called dirty dozen, are ones that pesticide residues have been so high on them that you should be aware that basically you shouldn't buy them except organic. And these 12, which we're calling the 12 clean fruits and vegetables, are generally lower in pesticide residue, low enough so that if you can't find the organic and you want to buy these, you should have less worry. We found that just by concentrating your fruit and vegetable choices from the 12 cleanest and trying to eliminate the 12 worst, that you could cut your family's pesticide intake by a very large margin, up to 80% over a period of months. This is obviously very important because pesticides are made to cause health effects in the organisms that they target, but they also cause health effects in us. We are working to try and reduce the use of pesticides whenever possible, but until we achieve that, we want to give people the information they need to make wiser shopping choices.